Today we build a beautiful mallet with two excitingly genius features from Beech, Walnut and Purpleheart wood. Stay tuned! Good morning fellow woodworkers, welcome back to another video. For the longest time now I've been treating my chisels like an absolute pro by using an old piece of spruce wood as a mallet replacement, like a god fucking Neanderthal back in the days. Now I would like to change this today. I would like to get a bit better at woodworking and create myself my very own first mallet. And for this I'm probably going to use a beech wood, which I have a lot of lying around here at my shed, my workshop, and also Purpleheart. Purpleheart is going to make for a very good choice because it's an extremely hard wood, but on the other hand it's also a wood, so it's not going to hurt the chisels too much over time, and the mallet in itself is going to be very durable. Now we are going to go over to my blackboard at home and we are going to sketch out the mallet. I have a few ideas in mind and it's going to be a very special mallet with a very special feature. And I think I got the idea for the feature from Black Taste Studios. I think he created a video on something of that sort too. If I find the video, it's going to be down there in the description. Make sure to support Cam, he's a very cool guy and makes very good content. And other than that, yeah, we are going to sketch everything out, rough measurements, we are going to see what the final thing is going to look like. Then we are going to go over to Cam, so Fusion 360, and yeah, then we are going to use the CNC and so on. I'm going to guide you through the whole process and I hope you are going to enjoy the video. If you do, why not make sure to subscribe to the channel and support the channel this way. And now we are going to dive right in. Enjoy! As for the head, I would like to go with a very classy design. Namely, I think this is what most mallets look like. Flat bottom, then we're going to have a slight slope, and on top we are going to have a curvature. I don't know about the exact measurements right now, I'm just going to basically eyeball it on Fusion 360 and I hope it's going to turn out nicely. Now this is what the mallet is going to look like basically if you look at it from the front. Now it's going to include a very neat feature too, namely a little thumb inlay. You can place your thumb into here, making it possible for you to do very precise taps, okay? Very controlled, small taps, which is going to be a cool feature overall, I suppose. This is what the top is going to look like. Now, what about the rest of the mallet? It's going to consist of 4 parts overall. This is what it looks like when you look at it from the face onwards. Now, in the middle, we are going to have Purpleheart pieces. These Purpleheart pieces are going to be split up into 2 parts. 2 parts because we want to put our handle into here. Our handle is going to be shaped like a fork, you could say. Let's say it looks like this. We are going to probably have a 4 fork instead of a 2 fork. Now what is going to happen if you ram your wedge into here? Well, if you ram your wedge into here, it's going to split up our fork like this, okay? It's going to deform it, meaning if we have a slope in here where our top is broader or wider than our bottom, it's going to be secured in here tightly. It just can't slide out. It's just not possible, making everything very durable. This is why we need 2 Purpleheart pieces here, and I'm using Purpleheart in the middle because it's the harder of the 2 wood types, and since our chisels are going to be hit by the middle part most of the time, it makes more sense to put Purpleheart into the middle to make our whole mallet more durable. Also, what I would like to add is a pocket into the Purpleheart pieces because I want to put steel ball bearings into here. This is just inspired by a dead blow hammer, meaning it's going to be more gravity infused, you can say. We don't have to hit too hard because it's way more top heavy than most other mallets out there, and we don't really need to hit, we just let gravity do all the work. Then we are going to glue everything to this part, and on the back side we are just going to have the regular mallet, okay? Made from beech wood yet again, mallet face, and we're going to sandwich everything together. Now, what does the handle look like? As mentioned before, our handle is going to look like a fork in some kind of way. It's going to be in here, okay? Then we are going to have a fork looking like this, in some kind of way where we are going to ram our wedges into the top. Now, we are going to get a full stop right here, okay? Our handle is going to be just this whole structure, and I'm going to put little parts here where we can just have a full stop where our head is going to start. Then I would like to have a slight curvature here to secure our hands tightly. on our handle, and just for the looks I would like to include a little corner here, okay? And then we are going to have a steeper curvature here and like a rounded bottom. This is what I want the mallet to look like, and as for the exact measurements, as mentioned before, I'm going to figure that out in Fusion 360. The only measurement that I know right now is that I want it to be, so if I grab it here, I want it to be about 6 to 7 centimeters thick, because this is just yeah, what my hand is like, 6 to 7 centimeters, and this fits perfectly with the measurements of my wood, because the Beech and the Purpleheart are both about 2 to 2.5 centimeters thick, so about 1 inch you could say. So yeah, I think this is going to work out nicely. And now we are going to go over to the CAM software and see if we can figure everything out. As per my ideas, I began to sketch out the mallet parts and extruded them to the appropriate wood thickness. Notice how I put holes through the end of the fork slots where the wedges go in. My idea was to hopefully prevent the handle from splitting up at the top. Other than that, I spent quite some time on the handle to make it look really spicy. After that came designing the thumb slot. This one took quite a while, especially when it came to rounding off the bottom of the extrusion. Normally I would go with sweeping a contour along the path, but this did not work out for some reason. So after quite some experimentation and trying around, I decided to go with a clever fillet of the thumb path. Next I checked if the mallet would look alright, and then it was on to manufacturing. The thumb slot will be pocketed in 2 parts, using a 1/4 inch ball end mill on the fillet and a flat end mill for the remaining area. The other mallet parts will simply be contoured with my 1/4 inch flat end mill, and the fork slots will be prepared with an 1/8 inch bit. Next day I applied my setup to the beech wood first, just as explained before. Damn boy, feeling good. And then came the Purpleheart, never milled it before. And my CNC hated it. Just listen to it struggling. At first I had to do a phase operation to get it to the same height as my beech wood. We want a perfect fit for the handle after all. I had a bunch of tool deflection though, so I had to redo the phase operation for a second time. Yes, that's better. Let's finish this one off and then we can start fine-tuning. I proceeded by removing all the tabs. And then I removed around the corners from the part of the handle that meets the bottom of the mallet head. And then, after some more hand sanding and excess wood removal, I proceeded with the glue up. Before I could get to that though, I cleaned my Purpleheart with washing alcohol. Exotic woods tend to be oily in nature to prevent them from rotting in humid environments, so always keep this step in mind before doing any glue up at all. But after that was over, I was good to go and clamped everything in place, distributing the pressure uniformly using some mahogany scraps. After they dried for a bit, I began to adjust my fork, such that it fit perfectly into the mallet head slot. Yeah boy, looking good! Then it was time for filling up the pockets with, on the one hand, wood dust and on the other hand glue for good adhesion of the steel ball bearings. Did I mention that I use a lot of glue? Like, a lot of glue. Not sure if I've used enough glue yet, better add some more just to make sure. And once I was done using a metric fuck ton of glue, the final clamping could commence. Next, I prepared the wedges by hand from a scrap piece of walnut. which was 8mm thick. Incidentally, that was the perfect thickness to fill all the gaps of our fork. And there we go, looking pretty damn fine. Let's prepare the head some more. At first I got rid of all the glue squeeze out with my chisel and checked if my handle would slide in smoothly. Holy shit, that perfect fit, it's so satisfying. After that came some pre-sanding using an 80 grit and my random Orbital. This got rid of all the remaining squeeze out and got the workpiece prepared for later. And to give the mallet a refined look, I decided to chamfer all edges with a 45-degree chamfer bit on my router table. Next came securing the handle. To fill some air gaps that I couldn't reach with my short wedges, I decided to push some wood chips in to give everything an even tighter fit. Then I slowly but surely hammered the fuck out of my wedges until everything was airtight and robust like a good old German tank. And then I went full 4 and summoned lightning upon my neighbors, which are always annoyed by my CNC.
Damn, that boy be sitting tight. I was thinking about adding glue to the whole thing, but I thought a friction fit would be cooler. A nice friction joint. Yeah, it's just going to help me if it gets loose at some point or I want to change the handle to another one, then I can still get everything out nicely without using the chisel too much. I just have to drill these wedges out and then everything will be good. But other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks already. Yeah, okay, let's get rid of these boys up here and yeah, then we should be pretty good to go to use it.
Now for painstaking 30 minutes of sanding. Whew. 120 grit first and then 180 and 240. Next to 520 and 1200, at 2400, and last but not least an absolutely not family friendly 3K.
Spicy.
Now would you look at that beautiful individual, god damn. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, using hard wax oil to really make it pop. Let's enjoy a few shots of the final mallet. Now if you were wondering how to use a mallet, let me explain for a second. Use the long handle to deal controlled but hard blows for bigger chisels and deeper penetration. Normally you don't hammer with a mallet though, but rather do short and controlled taps. Your chisels are really sharp in normal case overall, so there's really no need to apply that much force. And for really controlled taps, you place your thumb inside the head and just let gravity do most of the work. Our mallet is really top heavy overall. And finally here's me looking like an idiot. I'll tell you guys, that turned out so nicely. I'm so extremely satisfied with the result and I hope you did enjoy this video. And if you did, then definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel, don't forget that. And if you're interested in creating one for yourself, you can either get yourself the plans for $1 or $2 over on stemage.eu. You can buy them and download them after all, so such that you can use it on your CNC too, simply. And other than that, if you just want to have a mallet for yourself, the same as I do, or maybe with a different wood type, they are also going to be available for purchase now over on stemage.eu too. Check out the link at the top of the description, somewhere down here. And yeah, check out the shop in and of itself. Maybe you find something that you like over there. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, don't forget to share the video around if it was to your liking. And up until the next video, I wish you guys a flammable day and please stay safe. Ciao!